Joining me now is Dirt Motorsports racing analyst Gary Montgomery. And Gary, no doubt about it, this is the Track of Champions.
Yeah, that handle's been around for a long time. There are four drivers that come to mind that probably instigated that title. And those four drivers are Pete Corey, Ernie Gahan, Bill Wimble, and Jerry Cook. Corey, the Crescent City Cowboy, a three-time track champion here, numerous times New York State Modified champion, won the race at the champions at Langhorne. Ernie Gahan, out of Dover, New Hampshire, used Sonny Casella's woodchopper cars to earn a national championship. Again, this was his home track. Billy Wimble, 5 times a track champion here, 3 times a NASCAR Modified champion, driving Dave McCready's cars, the champion here at this racetrack. And Jerry Cook, the Cookie Monster, a 6-time NASCAR Modified champion, used the Fonda Speedway as his home base of operation.
Now, 1 year ago, we premiered Rush Hour right here from Fonda Speedway. Gary, we had 2 shows here during the season, and they were both dynamite.
Absolutely were. The first one was a standout affair between Jimmy Horton and Dave Camara. Classic battle. Up front, all race long, Jimmy Horton, and then from deep in the pack someplace came Dave Camara. In the final 5 laps, he had his turn on television as well. The story here, Horton, a seasoned veteran out of New Jersey, hundreds of career wins. Camara from Vermont, but calls this his home track, a handful of wins. It could have been a giant upset. It wasn't, but it was a great race. Then the second time we came here, classic battle, 2 big winners, Brett Hearn and Danny Johnson. They love to race one another. They are true professionals, but they hate to lose. They swapped the lead dozens of times. In the final pass, they swapped paints, and it turned out that Hearn won that night, but it was a great race.
Well, we expect similar fireworks here this evening. Joining us tonight is Cowboy Paul Small, and he's standing by down in the pits with the 2 masters of the new Fonda Speedway.
Doug, I'm with the old master and the new master here at the new Fonda Speedway, and that new master is the new promoter, Rick Lucia. Rick, you're a successful businessman. Why did you ever want to get into promoting auto racing?
Well, a lot of people that know me well know that I enjoy racing. I've been in a race car, and this is sort of like relaxation for me, away from trucking and construction. And so racing is more or less my passion, so that's how I got involved here at Fonda when the opportunity came along.
And it's also been a lot of hard work for you to get this facility open this year.
Yeah, we had a lot of window dressing to do and a lot of work to bring it online, and we were a little nervous there for a while that we wouldn't get it online soon enough, but the people have been very patient with us, the drivers have been very patient with us, and each week we try to make a few improvements. I really believe that this is a little easier than trucking. At least it doesn't move, the trucks move going down the road. We got to deal a lot with the bureaucrats and police out on the road, so I'm enjoying this very much.
Now, the old master here at the Fonda Speedway has won more track championships than I have fingers on both of my hands. We're, of course, talking about Jumpin' Jack Johnson. Jack, what brings you back to Fonda to compete each and every year?
Well, the competition here is real good, and I like the racetrack. I started racing here in the early 60s, and I went into my racing career here at Fonda Speedway.
Now, this year, it took you a little while before you got your first victory of the year. So far, there's only been one in the win column for you. How about tonight?
Well, it looks real good tonight. We won the heat race. We're pretty quick on the watch. If we get some breaks and maybe a good starting spot, hopefully we'll be right there at the end of the race.
Don't let Jack Johnson fool you. He's usually been, in the past couple of years, a little weak in the first half of the season, but when we get here at roughly the halfway point, that's when he's come on strong to win the track championship here at the Track of Champions past 2 years in a row. Doug?
Thank you, Cowboy. You know, in the modern era of Fonda Speedway, started some 44 years ago in '53. For more than half that time, one man has cast a champion's shadow at this Track of Champions. That man is Jack Johnson.
And there you see some of his stats on the screen. 133 career wins. His first win coming back in 1971. His last just a couple of weeks ago. Along the line, 11 track championships. The first in 1975. Then he got 4 of them back-to-back. 93, 94, 95, and 96. This is truly a track that Jack is very fond of.
We are live at the new Fonda Speedway, and our coverage of the Budweiser River Rage will continue after these messages. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network. Rush Hour on Dirt is brought to you in part by Easy Care Extended Service Contracts, Top Oil Engine Treatment, Budweiser, the King of Beers, Midstate Communications, Hoosier Racing Tire, Sunoco A+ Mini Market, and by CarQuest Auto Parts. Welcome to the pros, CarQuest.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence. The experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like dependable CarQuest filters, high-efficiency filters keep your engine running clean and smooth. That's why professionals choose CarQuest. CarQuest filters, superior by design. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
If you're going to be tough on your car's engine, you better put something tough in the engine. And no engine treatment is tougher than Tough Oil. Tough Oil, the world's most efficient lubricant, is making a special introductory offer. Buy 2 8-ounce bottles of the world's toughest engine treatment for only $25 and get a 3rd bottle free. Oh, that's so tough. It's beautiful. Tough Oil makes engines start easier and run cleaner, faster, and longer. Buy 2 bottles, get the 3rd one free. That's a tough deal to pass up. Hey, nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
New finish car polish. How much punishment can one application take? First, we restored a showroom shine. Then let the hood broil in the desert sun for 20 days under mirrors that intensified the sun's rays 6 times. After 52 car washes, the water still beads.
New finish available at Kmart, Walgreens, Pep Boys, Western Auto, Ace Hardware, True Value, and other leading stores.
Hoop It Up, the official 3-on-3 basketball tournament of the NBA, is coming to town. Hoop It Up's an outdoor basketball festival that's fun and competitive for players of all ages and abilities. So whether it's playing in the men's, women's, or kids division, or in the older than dirt, Top Gun, or couch potato brackets, Hoop It Up has a division that's just right for you. Get ready to Hoop It Up.
Hoop It Up returns to Boston's Bayside Expo Center July 19th and 20th. Entry forms are available at area Foot Locker stores, the official Hoop It Up registration headquarters.
We are live near Albany, New York at the Track of Champions, the new Fonda Speedway for the Budweiser River Rage on rush hour. Well, there were 2 Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series events run earlier this week. Sunday, the modifieds roared around Cornwall Speedway in Cornwall, Ontario. And our Paul Small has the story.
Another packed house was on hand north of the border at Cornwall Motor Speedway to witness the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series for modifieds. Dr. J. Danny Johnson started on the outside of the front row in the Freightliner 6 for this 97-lap affair. He immediately charged to the lead as the green flag waved. A couple of drivers looking for good finishes. Doug Hoffman in the Blockbuster #1 and Billy Decker in the Pennzoil 91. Of these 2, Hoffman would gain the upper hand. He would cruise the Blockbuster video machine home to a 4th place finish Sunday night at the quarter mile. A couple of other drivers who needed good finishes and didn't get them were Kenny Tremont, who was the victim of a spin in the 115, and the Reclamation 33 of Jeff Hetzler. Hetzler's rear end broke, and he dug himself an early hole in the Skoal Series point standings. The winningest driver in dirt modified racing, Alan Johnson in the Bopar Service 12B, started deep in the pack for the 3rd consecutive Skoal Bandit racing event. But Alan continued his consistent streak, charging past more cars than any other driver to take home a 5th place finish.
You know, we're nailing the top 5s, and I'd like to get a little better starting position in the features. We've been starting in the back, but you know, maybe that'll come, and you know, maybe we'll have a good finish to the end of the year.
Barefoot Bob McCready in the Kinney Drugstore's car #9 slipped past the CarQuest 24 Frank Cosi to grab 2nd early. They closed in on leader Danny Johnson, but 2nd was as far as Barefoot Bob could get.
I had 90 laps to do it, and I couldn't do it in 90, so it could have been, I guess I didn't have much there. You know, hey, if somebody screwed Danny up and knocked him out, I might have got him. But, you know, if things go according to plan, he was just a little bit stronger than us, and, you know, we just didn't quite have enough to handle him.
The 2nd generation of the McCready's, Leadfoot Tim, was not able to use his Jeff Gordon's Power Outlet 24 big block. The car wasn't ready. So he brought out the Dreg Subs #94 small block car and proceeded to power that to a 3rd place finish.
It's nice to get on the podium with Danny Johnson and Bob McCready. I mean, they got more wins than most people have starts around here, so it was just fun to be out there with them and, you know, to bring our Dreg Subs team car to the front and have a good night for everybody.
The highest finishing Cornwall Speedway regular was Kingston, Ontario's Danny O'Brien in the #17 car. He'd battle all race long with Jimmy Horton in the #1 and ultimately settle for 9th place. And the Hurricane Steve Payne represented Quebec with his Wins Extend #1 car. The New York driver, who campaigns in Quebec every weekend, brought home the 10th place finish. This race was all Dr. J's as he brought it across the line to collect the checkered flag and celebrated a wire-to-wire win.
Well, it feels great to be the point leader and let them chase me instead of me chasing them, but there's a long ways to go, and it's not over till it's over.
There's the rundown from the Cornwall Speedway on Sunday night. Danny Johnson, Bob McCready, Tim McCready. And here we go to Lernerville down near Pittsburgh, where Danny Johnson was the winner over Steve Payne, Kenny Brightbill, Jack Johnson, Bob McCready again at top 5, Jimmy Horton in the 6th spot. That was on Tuesday evening.
Right, last night we were rained out at Tri-City. Well, the Skoal Bandit Racing Series points picture looks this way after 4 races. And the leader of the points picture at this stage is Danny Johnson. And why not? As the racing season moves along the mid-season, there are incredible demands put on some very busy drivers as we take a look at the point standings and see Danny Johnson right there. How about the racing schedule coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Well, over an 18-day period, which started at Cornwall, these drivers, these professionals, there are about 15 or 20 of them that'll take the whole tour. They'll run at 15 races. That's 15 races in 18 days. They go from Cornwall, Ontario to the north, all the way to near Pittsburgh at Lernerville. They were in Bridgeport, New Jersey. They're all over the map, big tracks, small tracks. It's a great, grueling affair.
Well, one racer who is more than hanging on during these busy times is our Skoal points leader, who is standing by with Paul Small.
That man would be Dr. J, Danny Johnson, aboard the Freightliner trucks, car number 6. Danny, it's a pretty long series of races here in the early summer, but your team is holding up better than most with a couple of victories under your belt.
Yeah, we've had a super season. I got credit to Freightliner team for preparing such a great car for me, and I got to thank the car owner for for getting his program together. And just like to say a quick hello to all my kids at home and family and friends that have been supporting me all these years.
You've won more Skoal races here at the Fonda Speedway than any other dirt modified driver. How about your chances for tonight?
I tell you, the car feels pretty good. The only trouble is that we have many other cars that probably feel the same way, but we're going to give it our best shot, and hopefully we'll get to the front and we'll see what happens.
Dr. J hoping to score a win tonight here at the new Fonda Speedway, Doug.
And when we come back, we'll fire up the engines and go racing. Congratulations to Joe Masika, the winner of our Rush Hour on Dirt banner contest. We'll be back to the new Fonda Speedway for the Budweiser River Rage live.
Here at Fonda Speedway, the Budweiser River Rage 97. The cars have just rolled off. The call to gentlemen start your engines has taken place. The field of 30 rolling off as we'll have a couple of parade laps before the start of this great affair. Here's our race analysis, a 97-lap contest. The caution laps will count after the first 50. The final 3 will also not count. They will complete the race under green. There's a $30,000 purse. The winner's share is $6,000.
We always keep an eye on the weather. Temperature 72 degrees, humidity 57%. And it's a beautiful night for racing. How about that track description, Gary?
Well, they call it a half mile, pear-shaped or egg-shaped or whatever. There are 400-foot straightaways, 4 degrees of banking in the corners. That's hardly noticeable. Richard Petty won a race here a number of years ago. He still refers to it as that little track up north with 5 corners. Very unique configuration here.
As for the track condition, let's go down to the track in Paul Small.
I tell you what, Doug, despite the humid weather we've had here in the central New York area over the past couple of days, we've got outstanding track conditions tonight here at Fonda. There's plenty of tack down here on this racing surface. It's hard, it's smooth, and there's a nice cushion built up on the outside. So look for a 2-group racetrack as this one develops, Doug.
And we have a huge crowd on hand, and the fans are just chomping at the bit to go racing. The Rush Hour pace truck provided by Sam Dell Dodge, downtown Syracuse, New York. Now let's take a look at the starting grid for the Budweiser River Rage at Fonda Speedway. Row number 1, the 97 of Mike Romano. And outside row 1, the 55 of Rich Rickey Jr.
Second row starters are Chris Moore out of Massachusetts, and Pat Ward is alongside. He's out of Genoa, New York, in the John Finch car.
Row 3, it's Jeff Hetzler and the Doctor, Danny Johnson.
Row 4 on the inside, starting 7th will be Billy Decker in the Pennzoil Olsen car. Timmy Fuller is alongside in the CarQuest Olsen car.
Last week's Rush Hour winner Kenny Brightville is inside row 5, and Mr. Dirt from last year, Brett Hearn, is outside row 5.
Starting 11th tonight will be Randy Snyder. He's a regular here at the Fonda Speedway. Alongside is another Fonda regular. That's Tony Pepicelli, 32-year-old second-generation driver.
Power-laden row 7, Jack Johnson and Jimmy Horton.
Row number 8 on the inside will be Dale Plank, the second-generation driver out of Homer, New York. And the Smith & Hastings car number 74, Bob McCready, the master of going faster, is alongside.
Row 9, Bobby Varon and Tim McCready.
Back in row 10 on the inside will be Kenny Hansen. Outside, Dirt's winningest driver with over 260 career wins, Alan Johnson.
Tim Dwyer, row 11, and outside row 11, he's struggling in the Skoal Series, Doug Hoffman.
Starting in position number 23 tonight will be another Fonda regular. This is Jeff Trombley. He's out of Altamont, New York. Alongside is the young driver we talked about earlier from Pulteney, Vermont, is David Camara.
Then it's Steve Payne and Kenny Tremont in row 13.
Row number 14 on the inside will be Maynard Perrette, 60-some years old. Alongside is Roger Loreno out of Ivytown, Pennsylvania. So spectacular for the early going here on Rush Hour Live.
Our starter is Bobby Watson. We're set to go racing as you see row 15, Frank Cozy and Lou Lazaro. Mike Romano has yet to win a race here at Fonda this year, but he's yet to finish out of the top 3, so he's super competitive, and he leads this pack out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Bobby Watson has the green flag ready. He waves it. We are racing at the new Fonda Speedway in the Budweiser River Rage, and dicing into the lead, Mike Romano with that low groove. Rich Ricky Jr. is second.
Side by side out of turn 2. They get on the back straightaway. 2 second-generation drivers out front. Romano leads, but right after him is young Mike Ricky in the 55. There's the red 55. Pat Ward has taken over the number 3 spot as they shuffle down the front straightaway.
And back into turn 1. Field moving smoothly, moving very, very quickly on this super fast Fonda Speedway surface. Good battles back in the pack.
Side-by-side racing down the back straightaway. Up front, we've got a battle for the number 2 spot. There you see Brett Hearn trying to overtake Billy Decker. Decker in the yellow car, Hearn in the Budweiser red and white car. They're trying to run down Chris Moore in the number 10.
Now Hearn is currently in 8th position. We saw him during the heats, and he was running like a rocket.
He was clearly the fastest car in his heat, maybe the fastest car that we saw in all the qualifiers. Here's the battle for the number 3 spot. Danny Johnson has just taken over the spot further back in the field. We see the battle going on between Decker and Hearn with Chris Moore in the red number 10 car. There the cars running 3rd, 4th, and 5th as Hetzler's gotten back by Danny Johnson. That's a great side by 3 wide. Look at that little contact out of turn 2. Pat Ward in the red and white car, number 50 with the blue numerals. Danny is in the red and white car with gold numerals, number 6. And up on the outside in the orange and yellow, 33, Jeff Hetzler out of Wallkill, New York, the reclamation car.
Way high for Hetzler, but he hangs on to the spot in front of the doctor.
Danny seems to have backed out of him for just a bit, and there you see in the screen the second place car, the red number 55. That's Mike Ricky, second generation driver out of New Paltz, New York. He doesn't run to the series on a regular basis, but he's doing a great job here in the early going, holding on to the number 2 spot. Again, our leader is Romano. He's checked out.
Again, Hetzler going high, and Hetzler has Ricky. He's in the 2nd spot.
That's the battle for 3 now, as Ricky's fallen back to 3. Pat Ward is working on him. Ward now goes back to the inside. They're side by side. Danny Johnson way up on the top of the racetrack.
Hetzler using that, and we have a car in the wall, struggling just a bit. That was Danny Johnson, and he seems to be slowing. He may have broken.
Danny's got a broken front. Yeah, that's right. The right front end of the car is set down, and Danny got up against the wall. You saw that, and that's a problem.
It could be a flat.
It is, and there you see the flat tire. If that's the only problem, he's lucky because he did wang the ball a bunch, and that appears to be all the problem. So caution laps are not counting here, Doug, so he can get back out without losing a lap, but he will give up a lot of very, very valuable track position.
So he will hustle into the pits, and that crew will get to work. There is your leader, Mike Romano, out of Johnstown, New York, in that Bicknell modified.
His father started his racing career here, and then with a couple of brothers, A.J. Romano, and this is Mike Romano, the older of the brothers, does a lot of racing up in Quebec, calling this his Saturday night race place for 1997.
Jeff Hetzler in the number 33. He is in second position and pulls to the outside, and that means Mike Romano, being the leader, has the choice of the groove. He takes the inside for the side-by-side restart as Danny Johnson is headed back out on the track. He will rejoin the back of the pack. We had Jack Johnson in the pits as well.
Yeah, I didn't see him go in, but he was clearly there. So Jack Johnson taking this opportunity to make a pit stop for the Duchess overhead doors number 87. And that's the car that Jimmy Horton drove last year. Jack Johnson is and he's now in the pits. We thought he was coming out, but he's going in. He's they're changing a left front tire on Jack Johnson's car.
Let's go down to the pits. Paul Small.
Down here in the pit area, jump at Jack Johnson in the Duchess 87, just changing a flat left front tire. Meanwhile, for the Freightliner 6 of Danny Johnson, it's a right front tire. Now, all the teams are using the dirt hard compound tires this evening. Tire wear shouldn't be a concern, but perhaps flat tires may be, Doug.
Well, already Danny Johnson and Jack Johnson have had to change a shoe, as they say. They're back out on the track, and they will rejoin the back of the pack. And of course they will be, as you mentioned, Gary, on the lead lap.
That's important, but the fact that they're so far in the back, and this will flatten the tire any day on anybody's car. When you put it in the wall, you're going to see Danny making heavy contact right there. And again, he was lucky that he didn't crash the car, bend up a lot of suspension parts, so a flat tire was an easy out for Danny in that one.
We're set to go racing 6 laps into our 97-lap Budweiser River Rage at the new Fonda Speedway, and the green flag flies once again. We are back to racing, and yes, Mike Romano has Hetzler. He has the lead now in turn 2.
Hetzler's had a lot of bad luck in the early going of the 1997 season, and now he's running up front, of course, very, very early. Timmy Fuller has taken over the number 4 spot. Pat Ward holds on to 3. Brett Hearn is up to 5 already, running in the number 6 spot. Ricky has fallen back to 6. Decker is 7 as we work lap number 7.
A lot of side-by-sides, slideways racing here at Fonda Speedway.
And you had a shot of Jimmy Horton using the way outside of that black number M1. That's Jimmy Horton, the defending champion of this race, driving a different car this year, but he's quick and he's on the move.
Challenge for number 2. Now challenge for the lead, and Jeff Hetzler has Mike Romano using that high groove.
Just drove by on the outside like there was nothing to it, and takes the lead. Now we see Pat Ward working on Romano for the number 2 spot. Pat Ward way down on the bottom, trying to run the inside groove and take advantage of Romano as they work out of turn 4, head down to the line one more time. Pat Ward in the John Finch car. This is a car that Pat designed himself using a lot of ideas from Dave Lape's Champ car, but this is a one-of-a-kind Pat Ward car owned by John Finch, who owns a logging and trucking company. He puts up the dollars, and Pat Ward does a great job driving for him.
And he's got second as we have a car stopped on the race course.
Yeah, this is Dale Plank, a sensational young driver out of Homer, New York, who runs this car on special occasions only. The Smith Brothers concrete automobile is in trouble. Caution flag flies here in the early going. We're on lap number 10, our second caution.
We are live at the Track of Champions, the new Fonda Speedway in Fonda, New York, and our coverage of the Budweiser River Rage will continue after these messages on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour
on Rush Hour, the Budweiser River Rage. The leader, Jeff Hetzler. Pat Ward is second, and Romano is third. Hearn and Fuller rounding out the top 5. With an update on a couple of drivers, let's go down to the pits and Paul Small.
Doug, Mike Romano, who's running in the top 5 in the number 97 machine, had a smoking problem earlier in his qualifying heat. Turns out it was just overflow, but we may want to keep our eyes on that. Also, a couple of other drivers to watch. Bobby Varon moving up through the field nicely in the Fred Tanner 111, says he's just going to kind of sit and wait for the race to come to him right now, but the car feels good, and you might want to keep your eyes on that blockbuster video number 1 of Doug Hoffman. He's already moved up into the 12th position. Doug?
And starting 10th, moving up to 4th is Brett Hearn. The leaders in that front row, Jeff Hetzler and Pat Ward.
Yeah, the caution lights have been extinguished. We're set to go back to racing. I should establish that it's Rich Ricky Jr., not Mike Ricky, as I announced. Those are two brothers that race. This is Rich Ricky Jr. doing a great job on the 55. The green flag flies. We're back to racing.
And Jeff Hetzler fires. He's got the lead. Ward with that outside group. Hetzler 3 did not finishes in the first 4 Skoal races this year. So, boy, he's looking to really make some moves here as we have Brett Hearn in the 3rd place. Brett Hearn with a bonsai move down low. Got inside Mike Romano to take that position.
We talked about how fast Hearn was in his qualifier. Well, it appears that car is still a rocket because he has come from, as you said, a 10th spot, now running in position number 3. He was way up on the top to make a pass a few moments ago. That came to the bottom. So the car will work top or bottom. Further back in the pack, here we see the battle for the number 4 spot now. That's Romano with 97 being tested by Decker and Jimmy Horton. Here's a Horton coming on the inside. Horton will take over the number 4 spot as he flies by Romano with the 97. So Horton goes to 4. Romano runs 5. Decker is 6. Fuller is 7 as we work to lap number 12.
Jimmy Horton starting in row 7 on the move. Billy Decker now testing Mike Romano. Down the backstretch. Can't get him yet.
This racetrack is offering several lanes for great competition. You saw that wide back straightaway, and they can run top or bottom or in the middle or any place they want to go. Here you see them side by side down the front straightaway as well. Romano on the outside, Decker on the bottom, and that Pennzoil number 91. Here comes Fuller in the 19. You can see the black number M1 showing in the screen as well. Again, that is Jimmy Horton.
Great racing here as Decker has the position.
There we saw Camara coming into the screen. Old Television Dave. Yeah. And I stand corrected in that black car. That was Brightbill. So we've got the M1 up front. Brightbill is in the black number 19. He's making his presence known as well. But David Camara out of Poultney, Vermont, started deep in the pack. He is now challenging with the Camara slate. Olsen, actually, that's a Teal car, I guess. A Teal car. He runs against the Olsen car of Fuller. That's the white 19.
Yeah, we mentioned at the outset of the show, watch for Dave Camara.
Yeah, I guess he heard us.
He's got a couple of victories here already this year. This would be a big one as he continues to move up.
Camara working now on the inside of Fuller as they battle through the east end of the speedway. It's turns 3 and 4 down on the east end. Kenny Brightbill, a 48-year-old veteran out of Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, making some progress here in the early going.
We've got a battle for 2nd spot. Hearn outside of Pat Ward. Ward slams the door shut as they head into turn 1. But look at Brett Hearn working down low.
As we said earlier, that car will work top or bottom. There you saw it working on the bottom. Brett Hearn is a rocket in the Budweiser corporate jet here tonight. It's a car that is designed and built by his brother. Call them the TO Pro cars. There are a number of them. I just mentioned Camaro drives one as well. We had 5 different chassis builders here tonight. They were, for a while, we had 5 different ones in the top 5. Ward's car is of his own design. That's Pat Ward, the 56.
We mentioned the 2 Skoal races that were run earlier in the week were won by Danny Johnson. Brett Hearn was leading last night at Tri-City when rain stopped the race on lap 11, so he has been running strong.
That race has been rescheduled for an August date down at Tri-City in Franklin, Pennsylvania. Leader Jeff Hetzler now about 4 car lengths in front of Hearn as they work down the back straightaway.
There's a look at Bob McCready and Alan Johnson, top 2 winningest drivers in dirt circuit history. And it's a battle for the 11th position.
Looks like McCready's going to get it as he slides by on the inside of the Kitty Drugstore Syracuse frame service car. McCready on the inside. Up on the top is Alan Johnson in the Bobar number 12B. That's a car change for Alan this year. That's a car that Jack Johnson has driven for the last couple of years. But Alan Johnson, no relation, is the hired gun for Jim Bobar this year. He's having some great success in the car, but right now he's struggling. Again, that's the battle for position number 11. There you look ahead. You saw the 10th place car, Brightbill, the black number 19.
Only 5 drivers in the history of dirt modified motorsports have won over 200 races. Those are 2 of them right there.
Right, side by side. And I like the comment that Timmy Fuller made, talking about being on the podium with a couple of guys that had won more races than many had started, referring to Bob McCready, not as his dad, but as Bob McCready. But nevertheless, a lot of respect for his dad. We all have a lot of respect for the master of going faster, as he now takes over position number 11. Now we look up to the front of the pack again. The lap car of Lou Lazzaro, the number 4, separating the leader Hetzler and the challenger, and he's coming on strong, Brett Hearn.
Brett Hearn trying to dial in Jeff Hetzler. This is a 97-lap race. We're 23 laps in. Down the back straightaway goes Hetzler. No wins here. First one would be a big one if it came tonight.
Jimmy Horton has taken over the number 3 spot. There he is with the M1 black car. Bob Faust, B&F General Machine car, another of the Olson cars. Jimmy Horton, the seasoned veteran that we talked about, the defending champion of this race. He's run Winston Cup cars and ARCA cars as well. There's a battle. Well, that wasn't a battle for position, as Pat Ward had moved around. The 60-some-year-old driver, Lou Lazzaro. We got a couple of 60-some-year-old drivers in the field. Lou Lazzaro and Maynard Ferret both made the race here tonight, and they are both in their 60s.
We just heard off the radio that Bobby Barron radioed into his crew that the bottom of the track was tacky and the outside was getting slick.
Well, that's his analysis, but the outside seems to be working for a number of the drivers. But again, it depends on where you are. Front stretch can be one way, back stretch another way, the corners another way, and it'll change all night long. But the bottom line is it's a fast racetrack. Here's the battle for the lead. Again, you can see Hearn within about 3 car lengths as they work down the back straightaway. He was closer in the corners. We'll see him. Hearn's up on the outside. Hetzler down on the bottom. Hetzler has reported that his car is working beautifully. It better be, because Hearn is coming. And now they've got traffic to contend with. The leaders will catch lap traffic as they come down the front straightaway and off into turns 1 and 2. Hearn on the bottom, Hetzler on top. They are catching Roger Loreno in the number 36, the Tanner Dairy Stores car. Roger has been having such a great series here in this full series in the early going. About to go a lap down to our leaders here in the early going.
Just another great Hetzler-Hearn battle.
Yeah, they used to run on Saturday nights at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Hearn has switched his Saturday night venue to Lebanon Valley Speedway, but these guys have diced it out at Orange County and other racetracks for a long time. 2 seasoned professionals, and they really get the job done. And they're getting it done right now, and they're working in heavy traffic.
Yes, in traffic, your leader, the 33 of Jeff Hetzler. And down low goes Brett Hearn in turn 3. Can he get the job done? Again, in lap traffic. Hetzler fires off that turn, and he continues to have the lead, but just by a car length.
It's all going to depend on how the lap traffic separates. And then again, the 36 that's about to go a lap down is Ivy Land, Pennsylvania driver Roger Loreno, and he got a little tap, and there is a battle for the lead. And here comes Jimmy Horton. Listen, we got 3 cars, 3 wide for the lead. Horton on the bottom of the black car takes over. Well, they can't tell, but the leader is Hearn as they come across the line. So Brett Hearn has taken the lead in traffic.
So Hearn has the lead, Horton second, Hetzler in third, but Hetzler working on Horton as we go 3 wide.
Horton appears to have the number 2 spot, but Hetzler fights back on the inside. Now, this is too close to call. But Hearn continues to lead. He's got lap traffic, but if you're doing it all by yourself, it's a lot easier. Side by side, Horton now has the spot. Horton takes this number 2 spot away from Jeff Hetzler.
And remember, Jimmy Horton started 14th, so he has really been firing out there.
Another driver that we talked about earlier, hasn't talked about him for a while, but he's showing in the screen right now. That's Pat Ward. He runs in the number 4 spot now with the number 56. Hearn leads. Then the battle for 2 between the 33 of Hetzler and the M1 of Horton, and then there's Pat Ward in his 56, the red and white car.
And as you take a look at Ward, we might remind you, he had 18 career feature wins right here at Fonda Speedway, so he's used to seeing the checkers here. This was a battle here between Hetzler and Horton.
It certainly is, and the fact that Pat Ward's hanging right with him is a real credit to him. He doesn't quite have the finances to support his operation like some of these top dogs out front. You mentioned how he had a number of wins here. 18, I think, was what you said. This was his home track for a number of years, but he switched venues for 1997. He's now calling Canandaigua his Saturday night race place. There's Jeff Trombley out of Schenectady, New York, slowing to the all-tier audio car. He'll bring out another yellow. You see front end damage. That's Jeff Trombley out of Altamont, New York, actually. It's near Schenectady. The all-tier audio Troyer 1 bus number 21J.
We We are 32 laps into the Budweiser River Rage at the new Fonda Speedway, and we'll continue on Rush Hour after these messages on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
We've got a new leader coming out of turn number 4. It's Bob McCready.
It's still Gary Ballou, followed by Dr. Pepper, Tommy Corrales, and Billy Osmer makes the move on the inside as they move down the back straight.
Race flying is out. We're underway.
The Dirt Motorsports Hall of Fame and Classic Car Museum, where memories roar to life.
The Great Outdoors RV Superstore, your Fleetwood powerhouse dealer. Over 200 Fleetwood fold-downs, travel trailers, and fifth wheels. Coleman, Mallard, Prowler, Savannah. The best selection on Fleetwood motorhomes. C-Sport, Jamboree, Bounder, and Pacero. All built by Fleetwood, the world's largest RV manufacturer. Come to the Great Outdoors RV Superstore, Route 57, Fulton.
I'm still running after 150,000 miles, but your old car or truck might not be. Why not donate it to the Massachusetts Special Olympics Recycle for Gold program? Just call 1-800-590-1600 to have your unwanted vehicle removed for free. Help the environment and 10,000 Special Olympians right here in Massachusetts. Call today and they'll tow it away.
Remember, the official supplier of Dirt Motorsports apparel is Bob Hilbert Sportswear, and you see the telephone number on your screen, and also www.netjunction.com/ is that a slash?
That's a slash. That's a slash.
Oh, for those of us who are so computer illiterate.
Talking about websites, www.dirtmotorsports.com. Every morning about 8 o'clock you get the results of what's happened the night before.
There's how we stand as we continue to go side by side on the restarts till the midway point of this race. 33 laps in now. Brett Hearn leads. Horton is second. Hetzler third. And we're racing once again.
Billy Decker has just taken over the number 4 spot as he moved around the outside of Pat Ward, or so it would appear. There's a little contact, and McCready is sideways at turn 1. McCready goes around. Alan Johnson evaded on the outside. Kenny Tremont went to the outside as well. There was contact, and McCready faces the wrong way on a one-way street. We've got yellow on the speedway.
That is going to stunt the racing growth of Bob McCready in this event. He was 10th as we restarted on lap 33.
But it's going to make it exciting for the fans for sure, because he will come from the back with reckless abandon, because this guy loves to win races. This is what he does for a living. It doesn't pay much to finish in the back. It pays $6,000 to win, and that's what he's come here to do here tonight.
And he does, he might not admit it right now, but he does like that challenge of coming through traffic.
He absolutely does. He'd rather win run like that than run away and hide. But the big deal is he's got to win. Here we see the contact, and actually it was he that made contact with a lap car. That's Timmy Dwyer, I believe, in the one car that McCready made contact with and lost the handle. Lucky break. Everybody making some great moves around the outside. We saw Alan Johnson make a pass on the outside of the red number 12B. And again, the black and white 115 was Kenny Tremont.
Bob has had to work through so many physical setbacks the last couple of years, and he's had some trouble on the racetrack as well, but he's having a successful season this year.
He won our Rush Hour Live opener at Newberrytown, Susquehanna Speedway a couple of weeks ago. Then he came back to win a couple of races up here in upstate New York, and he wants to win another one here tonight. There we see Doug Hoffman way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Something going on there. We're ready to go back to green. The green flag flies.
And it's Brett Hearn in the number 1 position. That number 3 Budweiser car. Jimmy Horton is second. Jeff Hetzler is third.
Hetzler is third, and now Timmy Fuller has taken over the number 4 spot. Decker runs at 5. Pat Ward stays right in the hunt as well. He's 6, and he's just past Decker for the number 5 spot. David Camara has slowed in turn number 3. Camara, who had made such a great move to the back of the pack, is slow. He's pulled up high in turn number 4. There you see the Camara slate car high to the top of the racetrack, and there's something wrong, and David Camara will not get a lot of TV time up front tonight, or so it appears. He gets his chance on television, but not what he wanted. The yellow flag flies, caution on the speedway.
So we have to go yellow once again here at the new Fonda Speedway, as we have a heck of a battle raging up at the front of the pack. Brett Hearn has won this race twice in '86 and '87 as we wait for the removal of Dave Camara's number 26. He was running 7th.
Yeah, and he'd come from deep in the pack to do that as well. So David Camara's race night comes a little short. His car is owned by his dad. His dad and his brother are the crew chief. They operate a slate quarry up in Poultney, Vermont. This is what they do for weekends during the week here as well, whenever they get a chance to race. Nice family, nice people. Too bad that he's had a problem. And again, you saw no contact. There's something wrong in the drivetrain. There's McCready on pit road. McCready is making a change. What are they doing? They're working on the spoiler on the back of the car. They're going to do something there. Now, he didn't have a lot to lose. He was already at the back. There you see them moving the screen.
And I see that our cowboy Paul Small is down there in the Bob McCready pits. Paul?
Gary, you called it exactly. They are actually taking out that plastic rear spoiler that helps adjust the downforce on the back end of the car. Now, that may have been damaged in contact a little bit earlier this evening. The interesting thing here is there's a hot pit road here off turns 3 and 4 that the teams are using tonight. McCready actually pulled in on the pace car road and tried to cut in between the concrete barriers here to get to his pit because he really couldn't see. Here are just a little bit on the side. I've just spoiled itself. There's a pretty good crack in the bottom of it, Doug.
Well, I'm not sure if the crack. I'm sure that that's what they're seeing, but also they can adjust the size of the spoiler. So he wanted more downforce. It looked to me like this was a larger one. You know, we just learned that they made a change here at the Heath race as well. He's not going to lose a lap, but he's ready to come back on the racetrack as they go green.
And they're back up to full speed as he crawls back on the track. Battle for the lead, Brett Hearn and Jimmy Horton. Horton has that outside groove. Let's see him up front. There he is, number 3, Brett Hearn, and Horton dives low.
Horton from the top to the bottom. He set him up, and it's going to work maybe as they come out of 4. It is still Brett Hearn in the Budweiser number 3, leading the Bob Faust number M1 of Jimmy Horton as they work off now in turn 2.
It was exciting, but Brett Hearn was able to fend off Jimmy Horton and continue to lead this race.
Hetzler watches from the number 3 spot. Here we see a little further back. That's a battle for 5. There's Hetzler in 3. There is the number 4 car, 4th place car, the number 19 of Tim Fuller. Pat Ward still remains in the hunt.
Tim Fuller is in 4th. 4th place for Tim Fuller.
Pat Ward in 5th, and you've got a lap car. That's the number 10 car. Chris Moore is a lap down. And here comes the 111 of Bobby Varon. We'll have to check and see if he is in the lead lap. If so, that's a story there. Bobby Varon in the Tanner number 111 car. The way he's running, I would say that he's in the lead lap. That puts him in position number 6. Decker is in 7th. Oh, that has been confirmed. The number 111, Bobby Varon, who won this race 2 years ago, runs. That's the best way. Oh, we got an accident back here. Danny Johnson is in this one. Oh, there's contact as Romano. Oh, dear. Cars continue to. Oh, McCready's involved. Both McCready's are involved. Oh, that's
Decker also involved. Kenny Brightbill involved. A massive crash.
Ken Tremont to 115. Steve Payne in the 7X. There's Danny Johnson's car. Oh, that is destroyed for sure. Danny is preparing to crawl out of the car. And Kenny Brightbill's car, the black car that we see the back screen.
Boy, look at Danny. He ripped the belt off, the harness off, and now he's working to get out of that machine. He's got to be so distraught.
Distraught, but not injured, as though it appears, but certainly not seriously injured. He did take a whale of a hit. Look at how far they moved the rear end. Oh, the rear end has been moved forward at least a foot. It's a heavy crash. That's Timmy McCready's number 24. Chris Moore, car number 10. We saw Bob McCready in the accident as well.
Quite a chain reaction. There's Bob McCready testing it out.
It's not. The test is going to show that it doesn't work because the front axle has been torn loose. You can see the left front moving back, so the axle is not properly secured any longer. That can be fixed. And again, we're not going to lose a lap here, but that's. I don't know if they can get that fixed or not. It's expensive for sure. There's a driver out of his car. That's Danny Johnson. Walking away, not at all happy.
All this action taking place on the backstretch, and watch this. We've got a replay for you, and you'll see this chain reaction crash. And I'll tell you, these guys rarely crash hard, but here's where it starts.
Chris Moore got sideways. Danny Johnson made contact. There's a yellow car. That's probably Steve Payne. Yes. No, Decker. Decker. Okay. Trapped in behind, and here they come, and they keep coming, and they keep coming. That's Romano that made contact on the inside. Hoffman just got away on the out. You saw him coming by on the inside as well. There's Tremont taking a hit. McCready comes barreling in. Oh, my goodness.
There's Tim McCready.
Rich Rickey Jr. was involved.
Roger Loreno was involved in the crash, and a lot of sheet metal torn up. So there's father and son. The McCready's involved in that one.
Yeah, top 5 finishers on Sunday night at Cornwall are going to be far in the back when they get this one scored tonight.
Hustling to the accident scene, Cowboy Paul Small. Cowboy, what do you see?
Well, right now I'm looking at the right side of Roger Loreno's car. It's up on the hook. The front end is damaged. The sheet metal is torn away on the right-hand side. Looks like Tim McCready's car is not that bad. Right front flat tire and maybe a couple of bent radius rods. Over here to my left, Rich Rickey Jr. in the number 55 car. He's got some pretty serious front end damage. Kenny Tremont had some bad rear end damage. I tell you, there's a lot of damaged and bent metal out here, Doug.
Well, it was quite a spectacular collision.
In fact, only 10 cars didn't, and we had 30 that started. I think most of them were still running. So we had 20 cars involved, almost 20 cars at least involved in that altercation in one way or another. There you see the Rich Rickey Paul Fittings car. Rich just now getting out. He may have been stunned in that crash, but he's obviously okay.
So Rich Rickey Jr. among the victims here in this accident. Well, this has been a river rage thus far, and it was just on the banks of the Mohawk River on the back stretch where this accident took place, and it was spectacular. This is the Budweiser River Rage on Rush Hour. Will continue. Brett Hearn is our leader.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Sportswear Direct presents their summer collection, featuring ladies' sleeveless denims embroidered with the Dirt logo. Hot off the press, it's the Dirt Modified Mudslide Tee for men and women, available in all sizes. TV fans, the Rush Hour tees are in. Don't wait on these, they're going fast. And don't forget about your favorite driver tees, too. Place any order over $25 and receive a free Rush Hour hat.
Introducing the new Easy Care Certified 6-month, 6,000-mile used car warranty. To be Easy Care Certified, a car has to undergo thorough inspection. Technicians check under the hood, under the vehicle, and even take it for a road test. If something isn't right, they fix it. The Easy Care Certified 6-month, 6,000-mile warranty. If you're a used car, it's kind of like being new all over again.
Attention golf fans, the 1997 Willow Bend Children's Charity Pro-Am presented by Credit Suisse First Boston is approaching. Catch the event at Willow Bend in Mashpee, Mass on Monday, June 30th. See some of the best PGA professionals like Greg Norman, Roger Maltby, and John Daly. Celebrity guests include John Havlicek, Adam Oates, and Bobby Orr. Don't miss the hottest event of the summer on the Cape. It's the Willow Bend Children's Charity Pro-Am presented by Credit Suisse First Boston, Monday, June 30th. Get your tickets now. Call 508-539-5317.
There was a woman who walked into doors, and one who frequently tripped on smooth floors.
A mother of 3 broke her arm on the stairs.
Another one simply stumbled over a chair. There was a woman who hid scars under her hair, and now for some reason,
she's no longer there.
Next week, we will see you live from Rolling Wheels Raceway Park in Elbridge, New York for the Bill Trout Lincoln Mercury Easy Care Firecracker 97 live on Rush Hour, 9 o'clock Eastern. Check your local cable and satellite listings. Production support for Rush Hour on Dirt is provided by Access Rentals, Albany, New York, one of the country's largest suppliers of aerial lifts. They extend every effort to get your job done and done right. Access Rentals. Special thanks to Tim Kroll and all the fine folks at Access Rentals for their assistance. Well, we continue to be under yellow here at the new Fonda Speedway. And Fonda Speedway has its own personality and most certainly a very unique characteristic. Here's Paul Small.
Every racetrack in America has an attribute that makes it unique, and the new Fonda Speedway is certainly no exception because this racetrack was built on the banks of the Mohawk River. If you go off the backstretch over there, you're going to wind up here in the drink. Several drivers have done that over the years, most notably Barefoot Bob McCready, who was the most recent entrant into the Soup a few years ago. This is probably the only racetrack in America where one of these and one of these are standard equipment.
Well, isn't that a story? We're back in the pits now with entry of Barefoot Bob McCready. And that is fast work by the crew. Now, we're not yet to lap 50, so these yellow flag laps do not count. We're still at lap 36.
And with McCready making that adjustment, he's apparently going to be able to rejoin the race. There we see Kenny Tremont as well. Now, with so many cars involved, traffic isn't the problem that it was a while ago. So I don't know what the car count is at this point, but as we mentioned earlier, 20 cars were involved one way or another of the 30 cars that started this race.
Now, some wild spinning going on here, collecting so many of these machines. You're going to see Bob McCready coming into the picture. Whammo. And look at the number 6 to the left of your screen of Danny Johnson. We have one more look at it. That's Bobby Barron, and there is the three-way collision right there involving Decker and Danny Johnson. They get collected.
Yeah, they certainly did. Oh, boy, that was a 24. Timmy McCready taking a heck of a hit as well. Danny Johnson, remember, had made the tire change, and he'd come back up to position number 12. So that was a battle for 12. The green flag flies here as we go back to racing. We're 36 laps down.
And it's Brett Hearn back to the lead. Bobby Horton is second, and we have a yellow flag flying once again.
The caution came out just as quickly as the green came out, and it was Timmy McCready's car coming to a stop on the racetrack, and that brought out the yellow flag again.
Now, of course, McCready spun off the turn, and therefore the yellow. Let's go down to Paul Small. Paul?
It's been a flurry of activity down here in the pit area with many of the teams working on their cars. As a matter of fact, a couple of Jimmy Horton's crew members were helping Barefoot Bob McCready work on the right front corner of the Kenny Drugstore's car number 9. Talked to Kenny Tremont inside the race car. Kenny was shaking the cobwebs out when he came into the pits. They had the back end of the car up working on the rear end. He said he took one heck of a wallop out there, but he's okay. Tim McCready just had some minor front end damage. He's been able to get the Jeff Gordon's power outlet number 24 back onto the racetrack.
That's fast work.
Fast work for Paul Small to get out of the river and in the pits, too. All kinds of fast work going on here tonight. I think they're ready to go. They are. Green flag will fly. It does. We're back to racing again. It's 36 laps down. We didn't get one in of that one. We've got Hearn and Horton going at it. These two seasoned professionals have done this so many times at so many different racetracks over so many years. Here they are at Fonda tonight, going for $6,000. They're 3 wide behind them in the battle for the number 4 spot.
Hetzler way out wide. Hetzler way out wide after battling with Horton for that number 2 spot.
Timmy Fuller took him out just a little bit further as they worked through turn 3 and 4 that time. That's again Fuller in the white car number 19. Hetzler in the orange and yellow number 33. Bobby Barron showing in the screen in the red and white number 111. Again, this is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th right there. And Doug Hoffman has made his way towards the front in the blockbuster video car number 1.
Yellow again as we continue to follow Barron and Hoffman. Hoffman in the number 1, Barron in the 111, and another spin.
And another spin by Timmy McCready. didn't talk much about it, but this is a new team that McCready has for 1997. Jim Beachy is the owner. Randy Kosaki is the crew chief. And the sponsor, Jeff Gordon's Power Equipment, Toro Long Equipment stores here in upstate New York.
We have a number of great battles for position going on in this race. And just a moment ago, we were taking a look at the Hoffman-Varon battle. Remember, they both came out of the consolation into this feature event.
Racetrack is really racy, and they've been able to cut through the traffic in a hurry. But again, traffic is not the problem that it was earlier. We'll give you an unofficial top 9 here as we continue to operate under yellow. 39 laps down. Brett Hearn is the leader. Jimmy Horton is second. Jeff Hetzler third. Pat Ward 4. Tim Fuller is 5. Bobby Varon is 6. Jack Johnson is 7. Doug Hoffman is 8. Frank Cozy is 9. Now they've shuffled that deck just a little bit, but that's approximately the way they're running as we're ready to go back to green.
And we have been told that McCready is back in the pits. Varon, much like Camara last year, charged. He charged to finish 4th in the race last year after making that big run from the back of the pack, but nowhere near the headlines he made in the race 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's the year he won it. He's in a new team this year. Fred Tanner, Tanner Construction and Roofing, the owner of that car, 111, and Bobby Varon is chauffeuring here tonight.
40 laps in. Up front, Hearn and Horton, Ward and Fuller. Fuller takes over the number 3 position.
Edwards, New York driver Timmy Fuller, who raced down in Australia during the off-season just to give him a little more experience, runs in position number 3 with his CarQuest Olson car. Pat Ward running in 4. Hetzler has fallen to 5. Varon is 6. Hoffman is now 7. Running 8 is Alan Johnson. 9 is Jack Johnson. And rounding out the top 10 will be Mike Romano in car number 97. Again, all that is on lap number 41.
Now Jack Johnson tries Doug Hoffman down low. Got a little too low.
Yeah, he's fighting to find the handle with the Duchess Overhead Doors car, the Dan Mazden owned entry. Jack Johnson, the hired gun for the Duchess Overhead Doors team in 1997. This is his home track, as we talked about earlier. He's had only 1 win here this year. He'd love to win here tonight.
Well, you could take the events of the first half of this race and write a novel.
Some great racing. Every time we come to Fonda, no matter when it is, Doug, it's great racing. This is a great racetrack. Natural clay surface, and they work at it to make it good and wide, good and fast. And there is a good battle. Alan Johnson in 12B on the inside. Doug Hoffman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania on the outside with a blockbuster car. There's a battle of chassis there as well.
They come out of turn 4 and down the front straightaway.
See Hoffman in his Hutter-powered Troyer car being chased by the AC-powered Olson car.
Now Hoffman holds down 7, and the defending Skoal Series champion has really had his share of misfortune this year.
Yes, he has. And here we go back a little further in the back, and we're watching David Camara. We'll have to see if he is in the lead lap or not with the Camara slate car. 45 laps have been completed. Camara makes a pass of Jack Johnson.
Nearing the midway point of this race. That's a look at the 26 of Camara, Jack Johnson in the 87.
Frank Cozy showing in the screen with a Grosso Trucking. Car number R24, yellow and white car, working down on the bottom of the racetrack. Veteran driver out of Wind Gap, Pennsylvania.
We got to look at Kenny Tremont just a minute ago in the 115. There are a lot of crumpled up cars out there.
There certainly are. None as crumpled, however, is the one that's still in the pits, and that's Danny Johnson, who is out of the racing here after that vicious crash.
Alan Johnson testing the back bumper of Doug Hoffman. Can't get the job done down the back straightaway. Dives down low into turn 3. Let's see if Hoffman has the bite coming out of 4. And it looks like he will to hang on to that position.
We'll refer back to that comment that we heard earlier about how the bottom still had lots of bite and the top was getting slick. Well, I don't know. And then here down on the bottom, using the bottom, is Camara in the 26. We're at the halfway point now. 48 laps have been completed.
Still a good battle for position. Hoffman, the number 1, and the 12 of Alan Johnson.
Three red cars continue to battle it out as they run down the banks of the Mohawk River here at the Fonda Speedway in Montgomery County, New York.
We're going to pick up Pat Ward. There he was, just flashed by. Pat Ward, no radio contact right now with his crew, so he's out there alone. That can be a lonely feeling.
That's the way he races every Saturday night. The short races, they don't allow radios, but anything over 50 laps, the Dirt Motorsports rules say you can, in fact, use radios. But Pat Ward either doesn't have radios or they're not working or whatever, but he's doing it, as you say, all by himself. Lonesome, if you can call it being out here with 20 other guys at 100 and some miles an hour. Lonesome.
I don't know if you would consider Pat Ward to be one of the high-profile dirt modified drivers, but boy, he sure is successful and steady.
Yeah, I would say that he's not a high-profile driver. He just gets the job done, works on the car himself. We mentioned earlier that he designed and built this one himself. He's a great fabricator, has built a lot of parts for a lot of the competitors over the years, and he and his dad tow these cars. They've got a couple of them. They tow them racetracks all over the Northeast. Definitely not a high-profile guy, but he does get the job done. 40 years old. He's single, but he's got a girlfriend who's very, very dedicated to him, Jennifer, and they're great racing people.
He's running fourth, and there's the man that's running first right now in the Budweiser number 3, Brett the Jet. He's got a lead of about 15 car lengths currently on Jimmy Horton, who's second. Fuller is third. Ward fourth. Hetzler is fifth.
We talked about the winningest drivers. Of course, Hearn is in that category as well. And I think if you total up the small block and big block wins, Hearn is leading in the overall category. But in the big block category, Alan Johnson holds a slight advantage over Bob McCready, and Hearn isn't far behind. Hearn, the seasoned professional out of Vernon, New Jersey. Holy moly is the line I'll remember of him. He used it in the cool-down lap after winning at Syracuse. He's the only 6-time winner of the Syracuse 300. He's a great guy, father of 2, wife Sue very much involved in the activities. The list of crew members goes on and on and on. Sponsorship primarily from Budweiser for the last couple of years, the Budman.
This is a battle for 8th place. Dave Camara and Doug Hoffman. Camara currently in 8th. Hoffman trying out high, can't get it done.
Now, Camara was the driver. We weren't sure if he was in the lead lap, but it's been confirmed that he did not lose any laps. He made a tire change, and he's back on the speedway and has just taken over the number 8 spot. Hoffman runs in position number 9, rounding out the top 10. Kenny Tremont, he did not lose any laps either. You see a lot of sheet metal damage on the Emmerich Associates number 115 of Kenny Tremont out of West Sand Lake, New York. 9 times track champion at the Lebanon Valley Speedway, where last year he earned $17,000 when he won the Mr. Dirt title in a televised race at the High Bank Lebanon Valley Speedway.
57 laps in. Our heat winners today: Pat Ward, Chris Moore, Tim Fuller, Jack Johnson, Rich Rickey Jr. Consolation winners: Alan Johnson and Timmy Dwyer. There is Tremont continuing to labor around the racetrack, but how about that? 9th place.
That's another family affair deal. His dad is his crew chief. His dad owns the car. His mom and dad are involved, and Kenny does a great job. They're very late in arriving here at the Speedway. Now, we talked about the winners, but the fact that there here tonight 60 cars, or there were 60 cars that came to race here tonight. 30 qualified through that series of heat races and consolations that you mentioned, Doug. So 30 made it, 30 went home. Great field of cars here tonight.
You know, Danny Johnson, our Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series points leader, is out of the race. Bob McCready in the back of the pack. This is going to do some serious damage in jumbling to the points picture.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Bob McCready being in the back. Well, I guess he's just going to lap. He would be a lap down at least to the Budweiser car. So McCready's struggling here with the Kenny Drug Syracuse frame service car. Danny Johnson held the distinction of having won 5 Skoal Super Dirt races in a row. Did that a number of years ago. He had put together a streak of 2 and the way he did it, so dominating. In fact, he led all 97 laps at Cornwall. People were talking about another 5-race string for Danny Johnson, but it's not going to happen in 1997, at least not in the early part of the going, as he'll be a DNF in this one.
Camara in the 26, Barron in the 111. Camara is currently 6th, and Barron runs 7th.
Bobby Barron, what a story there. Now, he campaigned here last year in his own car, made an outstanding performance, got a lot of TV time. Council Harrell hired him to drive his car after seeing him perform on TV for some big races at the end of 1996. But during the off-season, that team separated, and Barron didn't think he had a team at all. Then comes along Fred Tanner out of Port Byron, New York, and says, Barron, I want you to drive my car. And it's been a marriage made in heaven. They've done very, very well. He lives right here nearby, about 15 miles away in Sharon Springs, New York. He tows off to race at Canandaigua on Saturday nights because that's closer to where his car is garaged.
The corporate jet, Brett Hearn, continues to lead our Budweiser River Rage in the Budweiser number 3. We're live at Fonda Speedway. Back with more after this timeout.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
If you're filling your prescription, worrying about what you should take with what and when you should take it and how it will affect you, maybe you're going to the wrong place. So break out of there and come to Phase Drugs, where the pharmacy is our business. Our pharmacists are always there to answer questions on dosage, drug interaction, insurance, and more. And AccuFax lets you keep the Phase pharmacist advice at your side night or day. It's a major breakthrough in making prescriptions easy.
Well, guess that answers that question.
My favorite thing about playing soccer is knocking the other team's best player completely out of the game. The intensity level, the tackles, the goals.
Taking somebody one-on-one, mano-a-mano.
If I had to choose one place in the world I'd want to be, it would be on a soccer field. There's so many great things about the game, but scoring goals and winning games, that's fun.
The revolution of soccer. Experience it on Sports Channel.
My favorite thing about playing soccer is the competition, baby. I live for it.
Radio communications provided to Rush Hour and Dirt Motorsports by Midstate Communications, providing reliable customized paging service and complete communication systems for race teams and racing fans. Midstate Communications, the official supplier of radio communications for Dirt Motorsports. We continue to be under green here at the new Fonda Speedway, and the leader continues to be the number 3 of Brett Hearn. Jimmy Horton is second.
Timmy Fuller is third, Pat Ward 4, Jeff Hetzler 5. We're now working lap number 72. They've just completed 71. There you see Hearn running off and down the back straightaway.
Yeah, he's got a 6-second lead over second place Jimmy Horton. And do we have Horton continues to be second, third Fuller, fourth
Hetzler way back, long ways back, a full straightaway, so they're all stretched out. The battle right now is for position number 5 as Alan Johnson has caught Pat Ward. They work in turns number 3 and 4. The battle, there it is, the battle for the number 5 spot. Pat Ward at 5, Alan Johnson at 6, trying to take over the number 5. The Bobar, number 12, beat Alan Johnson at the keyboard. Pat Ward in a pinch logging number 56 goes high. Alan is on the inside trying to make the pass.
It's a battle for 5th position with 25 laps remaining. Remember, Racing veteran Alan Johnson, the all-time winningest racer in dirt modified racing, and he's down low in the 12.
Great side-by-side battle, and they're not that far away from the 4th place car of Hetzler. You can see the yellow and orange Smitty's Reclamation car showing in the screen as well, where it was just a moment ago. Side by side as they hustle down the back straightaway. Alan Johnson on the inside, Pat Ward on the outside. Alan appears to have the advantage as they run off into turn 3 and 4.
He made the inside stick.
He certainly did.
These two fellas, close friends, and they're close competitors as well on the racetrack here at the new Fonda Speedway.
Alan Johnson, 39 years old. He's been doing this for a living for a long, long time. He started his racing career when he was 16 years old. Before he actually had a license to drive on the highway, he got in a Tom Ewing Corvair and made his debut at the Canandaigua Speedway. And the interesting thing about that is he had never driven a car with standard transmission. Now, he'd been driving around the lots and so forth, but never driven a car with a standard transmission until he got in a race car. There is the 24 of Frank Cozy showing in the screen. He has just taken over position number, that would be position number 7.
He's had some real engine problems in the early season. He changed to a new engine builder last week.
Yeah, and it certainly paid off. They've gone to precision engines, and that's part of the deal that's made a difference. But the CarQuest team, Rick Grosso got into racing big time this year, and they got off to a great start, but they cooled off and lost a number, I think like 4 engines maybe in 2 weeks or something like that.
That's a battle for position. Doug Hoffman in 8th spot, Cozy in 9th.
2 Pennsylvania drivers, Allentown, Pennsylvania for Hoffman, Wind Gap, Pennsylvania for Cozy.
77 laps in. 97 is the number we're looking for. That's when the checkered flag flies here in Fonda, New York. Battle for the 8th position. Doug Hoffman in the number 1, 24, Frank Cozy.
The reason we're focusing on this battle for 8th is it's the only real battle we've got going for position right now, as the guys up front, those top 7, are pretty much strung out and running all by themselves. Mike Romano showing on the screen with the number 97, but remember, he was involved in an accident, and he is probably down a lap or so.
Cozy travels in an RV to these races with his wife and 3 young children. Makes it a real family affair.
Yeah, he does. He runs a used auto parts shop down in Pennsylvania, Wind Gap, but makes it to all the races somehow or other. Now, part of the deal there is that he owns it, so he's got some good help and lets them run it when he goes off and plays, if you call this playing.
And where is Frank's oldest son working?
Yeah, Troyer Race Cars and Parts. Why not? Everybody ought to work at Troyer Race Cars and Parts. And he's just 14 years old, but he wants to learn more about the fabrication of what makes race cars work, and no better place to do it than under the direction of Maynard Troyer and Billy Colton, who operate Troyer Race Cars and Parts up in Rochester, New York.
We have a sweet 16 laps remaining in our Budweiser River Rage. We'll have the conclusion of tonight's race right after this timeout on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Dirt Sportswear Direct presents their summer collection, featuring ladies' sleeveless denims embroidered with the Dirt logo. Hot off the press, it's the Dirt Modified Mudslide Tee for men and women, available in all sizes. TV fans, the Rush Hour tees are in. Don't wait on these, they're going fast. And don't forget about your favorite driver tees, too. Place any order over $25 and receive a free Rush Hour hat.
If you're going to be tough on your car's engine, you better put something tough in the engine. And no engine treatment is tougher than Tough Oil. Tough Oil, the world's most efficient lubricant, is making a special introductory offer. Buy 2 8-ounce bottles of the world's toughest engine treatment for only $25 and get a 3rd bottle free. Oh, that's so tough. It's beautiful. Tough Oil makes engine start easier and run cleaner, faster, and longer. Buy 2 bottles, get the 3rd one free. That's a tough deal to pass up. Hey, nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
Arm strength, quickness, agility, and body control, the essential elements of the winning defensive baseball player. And with Coach Emanski's Defensive Drills video, you'll learn the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school. The Defensive Drills video features revolutionary training techniques developed by professional scout and instructor Tom Emanski. Techniques that get results, producing baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams and even a gold medal in international competition. In a recent review, Collegiate Baseball Magazine exclaimed, with Coach Emanski's techniques, the future of baseball is here today. Even top professional players are impressed. Just ask Major League superstar Fred McGriff.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Emanski that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
The Defensive Drills video is available now for immediate shipping. It makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order, call now, 1-800-888-1610. That's 1-800-888-1610. Call now.
We are back at new Fonda Speedway in Fonda, New York for the Budweiser River Rage 97. And on lap 83, I should say, Tim Fuller, the 19F, broke while running third. And he is out of this race. There's your leader, Brett Hearn. And we have basically a trophy dash. The leader is Hearn. Second place is Jimmy Horton. Third place is Jeff Hetzler. And fourth is Alan Johnson. Fifth, Pat Ward.
And sixth was Bobby Varon, but Varon just drove off the racetrack and into the pit area. So Bobby Varon, running in the number 6 spot, goes to the pits. That puts Doug Hoffman up to 6. Frank Cozy is 7. Running 8 is Billy Decker in the Pennzoil car. White flag is being displayed by Bobby Watson as the field parades by. On lap number 87 will be green on 88, and Varon's car sits on pit road. And again, these laps are counting, and he is going to lose a lap here on the pit road with the Fred Tanner car.
Brett Hearn will lead the pack down the back straightaway. You know, Brett actually was lapped at both Cornwall and Lernerville earlier this week. He couldn't remember the last time he had done so poorly in 2 straight races. He was leading last night when the rain fell on lap 11 at Tri-City. He's leading now, and the green flag flies, and we are reaching the conclusion of our Budweiser River Rage with Brett Hearn leading the way, and right behind, gaining some ground now, is Jimmy Horton in number 1.
Jimmy Horton, however, is having a little problem getting by the 87 of Jack Johnson, who's down a lap. Now, that's the car that Horton drove to victory here. That the 87 is the car that Horton drove to victory last year. He's now made his way around. Jack Johnson takes over the is back at the number 2 spot, and now just has clear racetrack between himself and leader Hearn, but he's stretched out about a 12-car advantage now. Hearn.
Let's see if Horton has any answer now for Brett Hearn as they go down the backstretch. He's got the edge on Jack Johnson, who is a lapped car. So Horton is in second, and he's staring now down the front straightaway at Hearn and the back bumper of Brett the Jet, but can he get any closer? Brett continues to look very, very strong.
As he runs down the front straightaway, not only was he looking at the rear deck lid of the Budweiser car, but he was looking up at the lap counter. It showed lap number 90, 7 to go, a long ways to go and a short time to get there. Meanwhile, Hetzler runs in the number 3 spot. Alan Johnson is in 4, running 5. Now, I believe, is the Frank Cozy. Sorry, that's Pat Ward running 5. Pat Ward is 5. Doug Hoffman is 6. In the middle, but that's the way they're running officially. The leader is all by himself, Brett Hearn. Further back in the pack, you see the scramble. There's Camara coming back. Now, we had told you earlier he was battling for position. That was true, but not for the position we told you about. He is 2 laps down.
Back to Hoffman and Cozy, and that battle on the racetrack. We now have 5 laps remaining. Ward continues to run 5th. Pat Ward in the 56. Hearn has pulled away. He continues to have a very, very strong advantage over Jimmy Horton.
He does. He's stretching it out just a little bit, Doug. There's no way that Horton's going to catch Hearn at this point unless something goes wrong with Hearn's car or unless it rains, and it's not going to rain. Oh, we got a beautiful night here in Fonda tonight. There you saw a shot of Pat Ward working down on the bottom of the racetrack. This is going to be a good finish for Hearn if he can, for Hearn obviously if he wins, but for Ward if he can hold on right where he's running now in position number 5. Back at 6 is Hoffman. 7 is the 24 Cozy. Then it's anybody's guess. I guess it would be Decker running in the number 8 spot.
Bobby Watson shows 2 flags, meaning 2 laps remaining. 2 laps remaining here at the new Fonda Speedway. And the leader continues to be Brett Hearn.
Hearn wheels out of 4, down across the line. White flag is in the air. We've got a half a mile to settle this one. Doug and Brett Hearn in the Budweiser Auto Palace. Caballero Produce T.O. Pro car is at the head of the class, and he's going to win it here in the final half lap.
Brett Hearn out of turn 4. Now swinging down the front straightaway. The checkered flag is out, and Brett Hearn in the Budweiser number 3 is the winner of our Budweiser River Rage at the new Fonda Speedway. Horton is second. Third is going to go
Hetzler, but he's got a flag flat tire. He comes across the line with the left.
Johnson got him.
Oh, Alan got by him. Okay. And Ford almost got by. So Alan Johnson gets the number 3 spot. Hessler's bad luck continues. He gets a 4. Pat Ward is 5. And then back in 6, it was Hoffman. 7 was Cozy.
So Brett the Jet, Brett Hearn, is the winner of our Budweiser River Rage on Rush Hour. And we will continue. We'll head down to Victory Lane to interview the corporate jet when we come back. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like quality Autolite spark plugs from CarQuest, dependable and clean spark plugs are the key to sure starts and smooth running engines. That's why the pros turn to CarQuest and Autolite. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Coca-Cola Concert Series at the Cayuga County Fairground Fair and B104 welcomes July 9th, Toby Keith, along with Pam Tillis. And coming July 10th, it's Tim McGraw, with special guests Dina Carter and Bill Engvall. Tickets for both shows available through Ticketmaster, the Fairgrounds box office, stage door, and 3D Art in Watertown. Call 315-834-6606 for more details. Hot country nights at the Cayuga County Fair. Come on down to Cayuga Country.
When you woke up this morning, something just wasn't right. The symptoms are clear to me. You missed the game last night. Now instead of sitting around and wondering what to do, or waiting for the highlights on the evening news, you can sit back, relax, and turn on the tube, because you know Sports Channel's got the cure for the missed the game blues.
Watch the midday replay weekday mornings at 11 a.m. on Sports Channel and end the pain from missing the game.
Only you can prevent forest fire.
And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Sophie says.
Drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Sophie says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Rush Hour on Dirt has been brought to you in part by Easy Care Extended Service Contracts, Top Oil Engine Treatment, Budweiser, the King of Beers, Bob Hilbert Sportswear, Midstate Communications, Hoosier Racing Tires, Sunoco A+ Mini Markets, and by CarQuest Auto Parts. Welcome to the pros, CarQuest. No one has won more Skoal races in their illustrious careers than Brett Hearn, now number 55, and he's standing by in Victory Lane with Cowboy Paul Small.
And Brett the Jet, a whole Budweiser salute from your sponsors down here in Victory Lane. It's got to be great when you win, and they're in the house.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is a big, big win for us. All the people from Budweiser here tonight, and they sponsor the race. You guys being here and all the people watching at home. It was a great run. We've got a great car tonight. The crew did a great job, and I got to say hi to Sue, Brooke, and Tyler watching at home.
You always run well at special events here. You've been just dominating this place over the past 18 months. How do you do it?
Well, we've used the same car, and we go back to that notebook, you know, we bring that setup notebook out, and then just go back to that setup, and lo and behold, it works. You know, we got behind tonight. We drew last in the heat race. We had to get to the top 3 in the heat without the luck of a caution just to get a draw of the start 10th. So we came a long way tonight.
This Bud is definitely for Brett Hearn as the winner of River Rage 97, Doug.
And he gets that automatic starting spot for October's Syracuse 300.
Brett was 10th in points coming in tonight. He'll now move up a bunch of Danny Johnson and Bob McCready both having problems. The Sue that he was referring to as his wife, Brooke and Tyler, are his beautiful young children, all back home in Vernon, New Jersey.
If you like this little sampler, it's just an appetizer for a great weekend of racing coming up.